The First Omen is the prequel to a classic horror movie from 1976 starring Gregory Peck. A lot of people consider The Omen to be one of the scariest movies of all time, and that's a hard point to argue against. I actually reviewed that either last year or the year before for the Halloween special, and it was such a creepy, foreboding experience that still sticks with me to this day. So I was definitely curious to see what they could do with the prequel. This is set 5 years before the events of the original Omen film, and a young woman starts to question her own faith when she uncovers a terrifying conspiracy to bring about the birth of evil incarnates in Rome. Now, sitting through this movie, first and foremost, I love the atmosphere that the director is creating here. And I don't know if this was done in post or if they actually shot on film, but the whole grungy look of the First Omen makes it not only feel like a movie that is set in the early 1970s, but it actually feels like it was made in the early 1970s. Like, it's a really cool experience to see a movie like this on the big screen these days, especially in the horror genre. And I gotta give credit to this director where it's due. I'm not overly familiar with their work, but I can't wait to see what this director does next. And I can't wait to see what Nell does after this. I recognize this name from the M. Night Shyamalan show, which is on Apple TV+. And full disclosure, I haven't sat down and actually watched that show for myself, but I definitely recognize where she's coming from, and I know who she is. And Nell is a damn good actress. Like, she sells every bit of the horrifying events that go on within this church. And she sells every element of the mystery that this movie is actually presenting. Which I have to admit, you don't really see in a whole lot of scary movies these days. It's almost like a detective element. And that is an indicator of a very strong screenplay here. Because this movie does set up a very captivating mystery that you can't wait to see what happens next in. And you can't wait to see more layers peeled off and more twists that are revealed. Albeit there is one big plot twist that I kind of saw coming from a mile away. But it is presented very well, and it is presented to shock people. Which, while I'm on the topic of shocking, this movie, I guess, was originally supposed to be rated NC-17. That is bonkers. But when you look at all the disturbing imagery that you see in this, an NC-17 rating isn't too far out of the question. Like, this movie got me, guys. Like, I don't know. Like, the stuff you see is the stuff of nightmares, literally. And the bodily things that you see, like, it turns your stomach up in knots in ways that I haven't really felt in a movie in a long time. So I feel like this movie absolutely deserves its flowers for being able to achieve that. But I can't really see myself watching The First Omen ever again. Not just because of the graphic nature of what you see. But the thing is, I watched Immaculate a couple of weeks ago. And The First Omen, to me, it felt like the exact same blueprint of the plot of Immaculate, just with a less controversial ending. Like, it feels to me like The First Omen saw Immaculate, they saw how ballsy they were, and they were like, we'll just go ahead and play it safe. And then we'll go ahead and tack on a little teaser to make you want to go watch the original Omen. Which it certainly did. I came home and I really wanted to watch that original Omen movie because that is creepy as and it is a great horror movie, and it's one that I can't wait to experience over and over and over again. And this is just coming from a casual viewer. I'm not a die-hard fan of the Omen franchise, but I am willing to recognize that that is one of the most influential scary movies of all time, right next to The Exorcist. And I think as a prequel, The First Omen does a good job in establishing what the original Omen was all about. It honestly kind of reminds me of when Red Dragon came out all those years ago, in having to establish the Silence of the Lambs. And Red Dragon is a phenomenal movie that does just that. But aside from my issues of just rewatchability factor, the predictability of the twists, and the fact that this came out so freaking close to the release of Immaculate, like, it honestly just makes me think that those two movies are interchangeable. Like, there was legit a point where I looked at my brother who watched this with me, and I was like, are you sure we walked into the right theater? Are you sure we're watching The First Omen right now? Because I just watched this a couple weeks ago. Because if the ending is as controversial as I remembered it, then we went into the wrong theater. Thankfully, we didn't walk into the wrong theater, and it was a good enough movie for what we got. One of the better prequels that I can remember in recent years, I'm going to give The First Omen a B-. It really makes me curious to see what this director and Nell are up to after this. Let me know what you thought of The First Omen down in the comments, and let me know what your favorite prequel is of all time. If you guys are looking to join a great community that talks all new things in the movie and entertainment world, then this is the right right channel to be at, my friends. So do consider subscribing today. Tap on that thumbs up as well. That would be a huge help. Stay tuned for more videos very soon. I'm looking forward to catching Civil War, A24's brand new blockbuster epic type of movie. I'm going to be watching that this weekend. There's a lot of other really cool looking movies in the month of April. There's a new Guy Ritchie movie coming out. Abigail looks like it could be a lot of fun. We're getting all kinds of hyped up for summer blockbuster season, guys. And you don't want to miss a new upload. So subscribe today, hit that thumbs up. One last reminder. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.